Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a timely tarot oracle reading about random shift. If you resonate with the title and or the thumbnail, this is the perfect reading for you, delivered at the perfect time, courtesy of the universe through the language of synchronicity. This is a timely reading, so if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, there is, if I have posted this a while back, what was going on in your life back then, that could give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, we're going to begin. Yes, I just wanted to check that you can see the whole reading. And we're starting with the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups is talking about something happening that's quite public. It's on this person's on a stage. So this could say that, you know, you are a public figure or someone involved is a public figure. This can represent, working for the public. Maybe you have a public platform, that sort of energy. Or someone else does that's involved in this reading. This is the underlying energy. And this is talking about the cups. Nine of Cups is like one away from the most you can get. Cups in tarot represent love, quite often romantic love, but it doesn't have to be. It could be love of anyone or anything. And probably, considering there's 9 cups here, hopefully this isn't romantic love. But this is probably more likely having the partner that you want to be with and loving them and they love you. Loving the neighborhood and the city or the country you live in, and you getting along with everybody. Everybody loves everybody. The career is something you love to do and love to be, and you love your clients and they love you, and just that kind of energy. Just like having, this is talking about everything you've ever wished for kind of energy. Now, this person sitting on the stage is his body language is a little bit incongruent. On the bottom half, he's sitting here with his legs turned out. And this represents leaking energy from both the masculine and feminine energy and from the base chakra. So the base chakra is about survival and, like the basic needs in the 3D world. And then, but his upper body, he has his arms in the sign of an infinity symbol. He almost reminds me of a genie. This is someone who's been very successful. So this is talking about, expecting to get what he wishes for. But it's saying that he's losing a bit of focus, drained of energy a bit. And so this is saying that if you're in this position, you are highly favored to move forward and get what you want. But you need to keep your focus. Many a race is lost in the last lap. So this is saying keep your focus. And it's hard to tell here, are these cups in the past behind? Are they above his head now? Or are they forward and he's behind them? So this could be past, present, or future, depending on who you are. Sorry, that is my kitty. She, Stella, she loves the readings and she is purring right into the mic here. Cat's purr actually raises the vibration to a healing vibration, and it can actually lower blood pressure. No, but not if you chew on the mic. Sorry about that. She's just in the happy zone. She's got happy feet, so she's doing a good job for us. She takes her job seriously. All right, we have the King of Pentacles, and so this is talking about, because this is someone that is used to being successful. So this energy is, this is talking about someone who has, is in the pentacle field. So how can I put this exactly? Okay, so the pentacles are about health, wealth, and happiness. Sorry, my cat is distracting me here. The health, wealth, and happiness. And the health, wealth, and happiness in the 3D world. But you could have all the money in the world that you want, but if you don't have, love in your life and you're not healthy, then you're not going to be living the lifestyle you want. So pentacles are represented by a coin. It is the element of earth. Sometimes this could be about real estate, but it definitely is about earthly matters. So, this is talking, though, lifestyle, not just money. And Real estate, it could represent real estate. It could represent, someone, a real estate agents. This could represent someone, if they're a real estate agent, they would be someone that is high up, like in a firm that is, someone who's established, basically. And this could be commercial or it could be residential, and it would be higher end property. The King of Pentacles can represent an entrepreneur that is doing very well. And this is someone who's respected in the community because they have a strong business acumen. And this could also represent people in the banking industries. Think about if it was a banking individual, it would be someone who would be a manager or higher. This would also represent maybe accountants, wealth management, financial advisors, that type of energy. So this would also be someone that would be well established in maybe a partner in a well established firm. And we could have the energy of any type of business acumen, basically. This could be stockbrokers, mortgage brokers. When you think about the minerals in the land and selling on site on the stock market, gold, silver, that comes out of the ground. It's all that type of energies. Whoever this is representing this could be a head financial advisor of a large corporation. This energy, this is someone who's highly respected. You notice like the King of Pentacles has grapes all over his robe, and the grapes in tarot represent something that is really hard to grow. So this is someone that people look up to. They'll go to them for advice and for financial matters and business because they're known to be able to grow things that are difficult to grow. And then we have the Five of Pentacles. So now this is only half of the pentacles that are available in the tarot, and two people are sharing half. So this isn't enough to even maintain a home. These people are homeless, basically, out in the cold. This one's on crutches, and he's wearing a plague bell. And in the old days, they didn't have apps to isolate people when they had pandemics, etc. So they would force them to wear bells around their neck so that when they came in town, everybody would hear them coming and they would run in the opposite direction, which would make it hard to get a job, which is probably why they're out in the cold here. And he has this, these two are collaborating, doing their best, but this guy doesn't even have shoes and he's in the snow. So this is an energy of, people that are like in need. And this is talking about this church window. They might be going into a church and able to improve their situation. We'll see as we go through the reading. This is talking, though, the snowfall represents, like when snowflakes start falling, they're really pretty at first. But then after a few months of snow and shoveling snow, it can get really heavy after a while. And it's another element to the day to make it more challenging, especially if you're homeless and you don't even have shoes. So this energy is talking sometimes about a lot of flakes getting together. It can be talking about tactics that we use on ourselves and that others use on us to put ourselves in isolation. Sometimes, however, this card can represent that rejection is God's protection. So if you're in total isolation, forced or, something that you've chosen to do, then just recognize that it won't be forever. This is something that sometimes is in your best benefit. It's kind of the energy I'm picking up here. So this could even represent the King's energy, deciding to isolate himself and just take a break from whatever he's doing right now. Sometimes we need to do that. It could represent all sorts of different things. Someone going to the King of Pentacles for advice because they've been isolated in business, not knowing what their next is to make and asking for advice. We have the King of Swords, and King of Swords energy is talking about a king who is at the top of his game and using his words. So the swords in tarot represent the element of air, and this is about your thoughts. So this is about mental intelligence, discipline of the mind. The King of Swords is, quite often in the legal system. This can represent judges, it can represent lawyers. If this is a lawyer, this would be someone in an established firm that's probably a partner as well. This energy can also talk about anyone that uses their words, or someone who's highly educated to be able to earn their living. This could be someone that has research and maybe found the cure for a disease and they won the Nobel Peace Prize. Someone high, that's well established. This could represent someone who's an inventor with patents. There could be maybe a best-selling author, writing a book and on the New York Times best-selling list. This energy can be social media influencers, people that speak on the stage. What else? We could have engineer type energy, someone who's well educated. This can definitely be politicians as well. So if it's a politician, we do have a king here. So it would be president, prime minister, someone high up in the government, someone that makes laws, that has a potential, chief of police, that type of energy, someone that has some sway, maybe someone that's in the Congress or the Senate, is a minister in the federal system, that type, someone high up with some clout. And the thing is about the King of Swords energy, they're very good with words and understand words. So the King of Swords energy understands that words can be used as weapons, and they can also be used as to uplift people. And also that if you do give your word, actions do speak louder than words. So if you give your word and then you don't follow it up with action, then, your word just becomes pretty much useless. This is talking about having a passion for new discovery. So this is kind of an interesting, the energy in this reading is talking, I feel, about something taking place here. Sometimes with this lawyer energy, there could be justice needing to come in. The Ace of Wands is a gift from the divine, from the universe. And this is generally a passion for new discovery. So wanting to move forward. The wands in tarot represent the element of fire. And, the wands are made of wood because wood feeds the fire, and this is talking about passionate action. So sometimes with this energy here, this could be about some sort of police investigation or something that's going to court, or that energy because of this, whatever's happening here. There's a bunch of different angles that it could be coming from. But the passion for new discovery is when you're ready to move forward in a stronger way and to take action, maybe after really doing a lot of thinking. That could be what the King of Swords energy is also about, someone that's really in thinking mode. Okay, so we do have, someone is really trying to figure something out. And this energy here can represent having a bit of a closed mind. This person can only see two ways of doing something. And you notice this energy is very similar. When you look at these two, the body language is very similar. But the big difference is, both of them are leaking energy from the lower body, with the masculine and feminine being pointed out. If your feet are forward, think about a car with the wheels faced forward. If the wheels are turned out like this, how far are you going to get? If this person has to jump up in a moment's notice, how are they going? They're not going to get very far. Whereas if their feet are forward, like the King of Swords here, then the energy, if he has to get up, he can get up and make a move. And so the arms are very similar, but the arms here, he's making an infinity symbol, and the arms here are crossed over the chest. And so this is talking about someone that feels very vulnerable right now, and they're protecting their heart. Also, the right arm is holding the left arm back, and the right arm would represent your logical mind, and the left arm, your intuition. We do have a new moon in the background, and the new moon is representing new energy coming in. So I feel like, there might be something very public happening, and it might have to do with court or lawyer energy, politician energy, something like that. And someone has a very closed mind here about the outcome. They have a blindfold on. They don't want to see what's really happening in a way, or it can talk about not being able to see the big picture and not wanting to, only wanting to use their logic and not using their intuition. The swords that represent your mental intelligence and discipline of your mind, they are double-edged swords. And so they're saying you need to use your logic and your intuition to be able to find creative solutions. This person can only see this or that, my way or the highway. Quite often that's how it works out. So whereas this person is open, he's not covering his heart, and he knows he's been successful in the past and that he probably is going to get what he wants if he just stays in the game. So that's the difference between the two. This is an open mind, this is a closed mind. Yeah, there's been some sort of heartbreaking decision that possibly needs to be made. This card has been coming up a lot in my readings lately. I just feel a lot of people are feeling a little bit overwhelmed with the energy around the world. There's just so much going on. And, you know, we had the files come out, and then there's the, you know, all the different countries all over. There's just so much happening at the top. And so this is talking about this card can mean, because of the three swords in the heart, when you see it, of course, this is heartbreak or a heartbreaking situation that this person, I feel, does not want to have to deal with. And this is sometimes in matters of love, this romantic love, this could be a third party dividing a couple. This could represent harsh words. They could be, right away what I wanted to say is perjury. So it could represent perjury if there is court going on. This can represent defamation of character, gossip, slander, harsh words being spoken, someone who's afraid to speak their truth. That, you know, so it just depends on the situation. It could be all of the above. So, but this is, you know, when you first look at this, it's very disturbing. I mean, someone has three swords in their heart. And then you look again and you notice, you know, this heart is actually quite big in context with the swords. So maybe these are more like nails and someone can heal from this. So this is a card about the need to heal your heart. And also, you know, maybe there's some apology needed, or something that wasn't done correctly. There could be a lot of different things. But this person here is in this energy. They're the ones who are protecting their heart. And maybe they are afraid to talk about what's happened. And, you know, this is sitting right on being left out in the cold, and this lawyer, politician, whatever energy this is. All right, and then we have, I know what the other, this can also represent surgeons, veterinarians, dentists, psychiatrists, that type of energy as well, just because of using the sword as education. All right, then we have immature competition. This card is also, when this card comes out, this one is coming out as well. So quite often this can just represent, you know, this is the only card in the tarot where there's adolescents fighting like this. And so quite often this can represent sibling rivalry. It could represent an argument in a family business, possibly. It can also just be immature competition. Like, if you think about narcissistic cheerleaders, think like grade 6 to grade 10 type of energy. And this, you know, there's a competition and they want the trophy, this team, but they can see another team is doing way better. And they'll do anything to win that trophy. So they'll do what they have to. They want it so bad. And if they don't succeed, their parents will pull strings behind the scenes to make sure that their team does win. It's that kind of energy. And when you think about this energy, you know, it's silly because as we mature, we start to realize that anytime you're in a competition, you're really in competition with yourself. You're not really in competition with the others. And yes, the trophy is very nice to win, but competition can be used to really inspire you to be better at what you do. And also you can learn so much from the competition. So if you see, the other team doing moves that you don't know how to do. Study those moves so that, then you can practice them as a team before you go out there the next time. And then, if everybody on the team is just 1% better than they were the last time they went out, that adds up really quickly. And then when you win the trophy, it's like, woohoo, we deserve this. Like, it's that type of energy. But, it's always nice to win the trophy. And so you got to, when people are younger, you expect it. When people get older, you start to think, okay, they should have figured it out by now, right? And look at this. We do have the solution for this energy, basically. This energy here. Like protecting the heart. This is talking about going inward. And this is saying this is talking about a mind that's running. And so when your mind is you should be in control of your mind. You don't want your mind in control of you, kind of making you sick from all the anxiety and not being able to sleep, that type of energy. So putting the mind to rest and going, this is a church. So going somewhere just to meditate and pray and connect with God and connect with that higher source energy and asking for help from the divine, what direction should I take? Hanging your mind on the wall. And this is the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind. So the subconscious mind is formed by the time you're about kindergarten age, 6 or 7. When you're a baby, you're like a sponge. You absorb your environment, and the subconscious mind is heavily imprinted on us as an adult, even well into our adulthood. Because when we're younger like that, we absorb our environment. Look how much a baby learns in the first year alone. And so it's really, the subconscious mind is made up of the values, the religion, the food, the culture, the beliefs about money, etc. All of that is really from the people that are in charge of our care. And most people have not got a lot of memory about what happened when they were children. But, under that age, and particularly not when you're a baby. So we have to rely on the thoughts of what others thought we would do or how we were. And so the subconscious mind isn't the most reliable, but it is heavily imprinted on us. And so when we tend to get, worked up and worried about things, we tend to when we're triggered, we tend to rely on the subconscious mind. And it's not always the most reliable. Then we have the unconscious mind, which is from a spiritual perspective. And, if a lot of people will agree, yes, I am a human being and I have a soul. But from the soul's perspective, you are a soul traveling in a human body, and that's your vehicle for navigating planet Earth. And if the soul's needs are not being met, then it will start arguing with the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. The conscious mind is basically, I went to the store, I purchased these 3 items. It cost me this much money. I came home, I made supper, watched TV, and went to bed. And you could relate that story to someone, and you have memory of it, you're conscious of it. So if you can get these 3 all working together, through meditation and prayer, quieting the mind and feeling with your heart, what is it that I really want here? What do I need to do to heal my heart? What are my authentic desires? When all the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind are plugged into the heart, then we start going after our authentic desires. And I feel that's the work that this person is doing. That's why the King of Pentacles has isolated themselves. I feel that's that energy, because maybe there is some sort of court case or something's going on, something, they realize they need some quiet time, and they need to go really decide, okay, what direction do I take here? This is the best thing you could do. Really great energy. Having a closed mind is not going to empower anyone. Sometimes, though, this card can represent someone that's putting a guard up and saying, leave me alone. I want to meditate. Sometimes that could be that. And we kind of do have that energy here. And then we have an Ace of Cups coming in. So the Ace of Cups does quite often, it's definitely something new coming in. We have 2, we have passion and we have love here. So this could be about romantic love, but in this reading, I mean, it could be partly about that, for sure. Heartbreak over something that happened. There could have been a lot of competition. There might have been a third-party involvement in a situation of love. And this is saying, if you heal your heart, basically, God will send you someone else that's better suited to you. That is, that you will be very passionate about, and also that you could, be a divine partner. Look there's a dove here showing the peace, and there's water flowing constantly. It's talking about an everlasting love. And we do have the water lilies, which come up from the ground, from the mud of the lake or body of water, and they are beautiful flowers. So all of a sudden, this could actually represent an energy of thinking maybe that you had the lifestyle that you really wanted, and then this happened. And now you feel like you're left out in the cold, and now you might be doing the whole lawyer thing because of divorce or that type of energy. But God is saying, if you heal your mind and you calm yourself down and you heal your heart, allow forgiveness to come in. It's not saying, when you forgive someone, it's not saying that you condone the action, but it's saying that I'm willing to let that go and heal my heart so that I can move on and have new passion and new love in my life. So that's pretty cool. Look at this. And then we have the Knight of Wands coming in. So the Knight of Wands is like a message coming in now saying, hey, there's going to be passion in your life again. I like this. So whether that be about business, or it be about family, or it be about romantic love, this is saying that God is saying, hey, open your, do the work you need to do to forgive. And that forgiveness is for yourself. When you forgive someone, it doesn't mean that you have to hang out with them anymore or condone what they did. It means that you want to heal your heart so you can have the passion and love back in your life that you deserve. So I feel like that's what this is about. This quite often does represent a divorce lawyer. So yeah, it's talking about getting what you want, but not in the way you thought you were going to get it. So the rebel with a cause, the Knight of Wands, the Knights work, they would deliver messages far and wide. In the old days, that was the only long distance communication. So this is saying some sort of communication or information's coming in. This is about someone, like the rebel with a cause is someone that is passionate. And, they've got that wand. It's saying that he's got this big red plume on the back of his helmet. It's saying that he's in the past, he was impulsive, and maybe someone that, had a bit of a hot temper, but he's learned to rein those emotions in, and he's ready to come forward in a strong way. The horse represents heartfelt energy and also passion. And in the background here, we have the pyramids, because the Knight of Wands loves to explore new ideas, so this would be this energy here of willing to move forward with an open heart in a strong way. So this is really good. The communication, you don't have to expect it to come in from a knight on your, riding a horse up to your place. That could happen, I guess. But this can represent like a phone call, a text message, an email. This could be something that comes in the mail, a delivery of flowers, maybe, something like that. You could be on social media, someone messages you. You go to an event and then you meet someone, and that you that sparks that in you. So this is the King of Pentacles. This is, I feel, talking more about lifestyle than it is about money. And there could have been some competition, I guess, for the person that you love. And they decided maybe the grass was greener on the other side. And now you're in a position where you're doing your best to heal your heart and get back in touch with your authentic heart's desires. This is God is sending in two aces of new energy here. So this is basically saying this person is like going to come in, they're going to be passionate, and someone that you could really, this could be your energy and the other person's. This is the Ace of Cups, and having a cup of love and being passionate. the best combination of all. And if you're in this energy of divorce or whatever, that could be where the pentacle energy is coming. And yeah, when you have to divide your assets in half, it does feel sometimes like you're being, left out. So this makes sense. And I didn't see this at first as a love reading, but I feel like it's more about love than it is about money. As I said, you could have all the money in the world, but if you don't have the love in your life, then you're probably not living your best lifestyle. So we're going to clarify this for those that want more clarification. I think this is pretty clear now, actually. But I'm going to clarify with my oracle, Tales from the Vector. The numbers on these cards represent, I started this oracle back in 2007, and in 2020 I completed 64 of the paintings. And the numbers on these cards represent the paintings as they are on my website. I have a gallery of all the paintings, and this is the numbers of the paintings in that gallery. I'll put this in the description box below in the order they appear here. So if you want to take a look, you can take a look, and it might give you further clarity. The oracle is from the Intergalactic Federation of Light. We do have the Emperor energy here. So this is talking about high-level performance. So this is talking about someone who's used to winning, talking about competition. But this is someone who understands, the Emperor wears his armor underneath his robe. He's ready to grab onto an opportunity at the first, moment that it's available. This is alpha male energy, like someone who's used to winning. And so this could be quite, if you are in this position and, this is representing this energy, to have someone think the grass is greener for someone else would be hard for the Emperor to take. I feel like that energy. And so this is having the strength and the integrity to dig deep and to go inward and heal from it. It takes a lot to face your shadow side to kind of figure out. Sometimes the Emperor can be really controlling. So that could represent this energy here. My way or the highway kind of energy didn't work out so good in this relationship. We have the third eye saying, use your insight. And so that's about this here. There's a saying, because you have eyes, you cannot see. And like, what? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, because the human eye only can detect like a small portion of the band of light, and we don't really see everything like we think we're seeing everything with our physical eyes. And so sometimes you need to go inward and view life through your third eye. And that represents this energy here. The choice of having, going inward to do some healing, to figure out how can I deal with this situation better. And again, we have the High Priestess here also coming in. So the High Priestess is totally intuitive. So this isolation here could be like, the sadness of like this relationship not working out, but then someone having the guts to go inward and do the inner work they need to do to maybe be able to figure out, okay, there's got to be a better way than the way I'm handling my relationships. Quite often, when God sends in someone to be a divine partner for you, it'll be someone that's totally and completely different from your usual type. And God says, that's the point. Your type is not working for you. So I'm sending in you, you have an open mind. I'm sending you in someone that is more suitable for you. But this could represent someone that would be totally different from someone you would normally date. So the hangman can be like getting stuck in love and God helping you get unstuck. The hangman hangs from the tree of knowledge upside down to gain a new perspective. What better way than to view the world from exactly the opposite point of view where you were viewing it before. And so that's getting unstuck in love through God's judgment. So God is the only one that can really read other people's heart and is really qualified to deal with situations of the heart, because we may think we know someone, we may think we know what drives them, but then we find out that we didn't know them as well as we thought. And then we do have this on the lovers. So I do feel that this is a situation where someone thought the grass was greener on the other side and they left. And this is now dealing with that. And we have, like, this is a major transition. I feel like whoever this reading is for, you're used to getting what you want, and maybe maybe you were from the generation where everybody got a trophy, so that no one's feelings would get hurt. In the real world, like, that only one person can get the trophy. It's that type of energy. And then we also have Aries. Yeah, it's about right now on the as I'm doing this reading. At the beginning of the year of 2026, we had a lot of signs moving into the sign of Aries, and one of those was Neptune. And Neptune is basically about our idealism, the way that we function. And Neptune was in the sign of Pisces for 14 years. So for 14 years, that's idealism, the way we handle our relationships, the way we approach love, the way we approach making money, all of that, all of those relationships. Neptune has a huge effect on that. And so for 14 years, we all learned, okay, if we do it this way, it's going to work. And then all of a sudden, Neptune decides to move into Aries. And, Pisces is a very watery sign. It's, more dreamy and, things will work out. They always do kind of energy. Whereas Aries is a brand new born infant. It couldn't be more opposite. And this is someone, if you've ever had a newborn in your home, you'll notice that for someone so little and helpless, they rule the house, And so it's about everything. Think about what someone from a newborn to the age of 14 has to learn about life. That's where we're at now. So for the next 14 years, Neptune is going to be in the sign of Aries, and that is really learning how to tweak what we already know. We're probably being in a closed mind and doing things the way we've always done them, which is a trait of the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is used to being successful, and people are coming to them for advice. So they're like, this is the way to do it. But now, after 14 years of being in Neptune, we're in Aries now. So we have to tweak things a little and be open, have an open mind to things being maybe slightly different from the way they were just a few years ago. All right, this has been really good advice, whether it be love, money, whatever it is. Thank you, King of Pentacles, for your wisdom. All right, I do hope you've enjoyed this. I do thank you for your likes and comments and subscribes. They really help me build my channel, and I'm honored when you do subscribe. Bye for now. Okay, little kitty.